Hey guys, this is Faye from Faye's World Media. Today I'm going to talk to you about a very passionate topic, which is how to use AI to build a company, specifically a content repurpose company or agency where you can help clients such as podcasters, YouTubers, live streamers to repurpose their long form content such as videos into these snippets, shorts, or clips, however you want to call it. Now, that effort has been popular for a long time because as creators, after we put in all that work, we really want to make the most of the content that we have created. That used to be pretty expensive, and that requires you, whether you're the creator or hiring editors or specialized talents to help you create those snippets. But luckily, today we have so many AI tools to play with. And today I'm going to use the example of Munch AI. They're very kind to sponsor this video, but truth be told, they allow me to really talk about their tools with full transparency. I've done a lot of tutorials, but today we're going to focus on how you're going to able to build an agency around this. I want to say that we do have a companion blog post, so take a look at the description below. Number one is to actually understand the tool. You want to understand the benefits, the features, as well as limitations. What we love about Munch is that it's really intuitive and it's very powerful. Not just for individual creators, but also for folks like yourselves. If you're into, creating an agency, meaning you need folders, structures, and helping multiple clients, not just one, not just three, to help them create these micro content. And Munch is really powerful. In addition to that, speaking of features, they have things like topics, keywords, and helping you find precisely what you're looking for in terms of micro content. From, let's say, 1 hour or multi-hour worth of content from your clients that you do not have the time or attention to kind of watch all of them through and pick, what's likely to rank, because Munch has features to give you these SEO scores or Munch scores to show you what's likely to rank based on keyword data, keywords, and insights from Google. The second tip is about knowing your core audience. Who are you trying to serve by building this agency that help people produce micro content? So what comes to mind immediately these days are podcasters, YouTubers, live streamers, webinar hosts, company content creators, content directors. So these are the folks you might want to target. I would say from our experience running our agency now since 2016, helping, people, creators, companies from all walks of life to do more with the content they already have, we tend to target businesses or creators who are business backed, which means they're not just creating content for content's sake. They're doing this to drive their business forward. We believe that it's going to shorten your closure. You will have a much better chance of closing these clients because, again, they're producing content, these micro content that they can publish to various social media platforms that's going to drive their business. More results, more awareness, more leads, and more sales, which means more conversions. Speaking of social media platforms, now there are different types of short form content that's going to aid different platforms. As we have talked about many times on this channel, if you're thinking about vertical short form content, let's say under 1 minute, in some cases could just be 15 seconds to 30 seconds. Those are great as Instagram Reels, as YouTube Shorts, as TikTok videos. I know TikToks are getting longer now, but in general, you want to know the content orientation. Is it vertical, landscape, or in some cases could even be square? And you want to think about these social media platforms. One thing I think is really essential is not just about what's popular on the market today, but moreover, it's about what is right for your clients. As for Faye's World, most of our clients, I would say about 80% of them, thrive on YouTube and LinkedIn, not as much on Instagram and TikTok. Now, you don't have that information offhand, like you can just imagine or guess it. Instead, you want to talk to different people and you want to experiment. So it's okay to work for the first, second, third clients for free so that you can experiment and build your expertise, build your experience based on real data. Next is about developing a business plan. Now, a lot of people that I know would spend 7 months a year building a business plan. And guess what? By the time they finally have a finalized version, whether it's PDF or PowerPoint or Keynote, whatever, that plan is probably already outdated. I actually believe in an iterative business plan. Now, that part is, for some of you guys, may seem a little intimidating. but it's something that you want to create. If for nothing else, based on this video, you should have a clear idea of the AI tools you want to focus on and know what they're being used for. You want to know your audience, whether podcasters, YouTubers, or small business owners. And then you want to think about the platforms that you want to target. Do you think your agency wants to specialize and learn more about LinkedIn, YouTube, or, all the platforms? I would say start small and know that you can really hone in on maybe the 2, maybe 3 platforms that you know so much about. Okay, another tip I want to mention as you are starting and then growing an agency is about assembling a specialized team. Now, based on the clients you're targeting, you might need different talents or specialties as part of your team. But the good news is that you can start the agency just on your own, by yourself. I started FaceWorld as a one-person, one-woman show, and I enjoyed it. Of course, very quickly, it became overwhelming. But in retrospect, I realized the fact that I appreciated that I could actually learn as much as possible. I was not afraid to roll up the sleeves and get my hands dirty. And then later on, I have my lovely producer, Herman, and other contractors and vendors I worked with who showed me and taught me so much along the way. When it comes to AI, especially with a tool such as Munch AI, you have the opportunity to streamline your production process. That's right. You're going to run into, I would say, certain hurdles after you have acquired a number of clients. You realize that you're doing more repetitive work. Now, that's actually a good sign because that's the opportunity where you can streamline the process. If every day is different, every task requires a different skill or talent, it's going to be hard to streamline and really trying to be as productive as fast as possible. So what you want to do is actually sit down after you have done this 2-3 times and just take a look, whether you're using Miro or simply using like a Google slide, to document and capture all the steps. Don't skip anything, and to understand what you and maybe your team are doing. Now, you'll notice with a tool such as Munch AI, they don't just give you these assets that are topics and keywords driven. They're great, but you also have the opportunity with their pro version and up to be able to edit any asset directly within the platform. That is a huge win because without leaving the platform, if some short form content may be cut short, maybe imperfect, you can just right then and there edit that. Maybe not you, maybe a video editor you hire, maybe a social media manager. You can do it all within the platform. Even better, within Munch, you can actually schedule these assets directly live on social media platforms for your clients. Now, I think that is a huge win to not have to leave the platform again, not have to pay for something else like Buffer, Hootsuite, or later. You can schedule the content, meaning you can literally grab the content, publish with social media copy and hashtag, and call it a day. Once you're playing the bigger game, which means your agency is now growing, it's thriving, chances are you're actually facing growing competition as well. Thanks to all the AI tools and platforms out there, we have written a lot on FaceWorld. The competition is fierce because now people without programming experiences and knowledge, they too can start agencies like this. So I would say that think about a marketing strategy where you can, find your ideal audience and then just thrive and really be the best of your class. Whether it is that you're servicing podcasters or perhaps you're like us, leveraging tools to really assist webinar hosts and content creators within certain organizations, that's where we thrive in. So you want to know who you are and really understand your audience, understand the core audience that you have. I know it's really tempting to say yes to everyone or simply competing based on price. I want to be, the cheapest service provider, or I want to be the most expensive, where premium is not just about price yet. You want to know who you can service the best. Because once you do that, a lot of word of mouth as traditional marketing systems still work so well. Because I look back since 2016, since we started FaceWorld, so much and so many of the clients we still have today are through word of mouth. And I encourage you to do that. And speaking of which, take care of your clients. Once you have them, it's extremely important to nurture them, to listen to them based on their positive feedback, but also things they may be struggling with. A lot of the times when we hear clients' feedback, we immediately assume it's negative. We want to avoid it, or trying to dance around or trying to mask it. a lot of this feeling based. Actually, if we want to be more empathetic, we listen. And there's a very collaborative approach often, not only that makes the clients happier and actually make our collective work and production and final deliverable results better as well. As much as we love Munch AI and other AI tools, look, it's okay to have and experience imperfections because ultimately they're AI tools and you can work around some of the limitations. So I still truly believe in human-centered experiences, and that's especially true when it comes to quality control. So with AI, tools such as Munch, you still want to verify and double check with your team to make sure the assets are where you expect them to be. This means you want to, watch these short form video content from beginning to end. And sometimes it's really critical to check out the beginning and the end to make sure you start strong and also end strong, not on, a weird cutoff where people have different intonations and ways of speaking. Especially when we have multiple speakers as part of a video, it is not always trivial or easy for AI to get everything correctly. That's when the Munch, built-in editors will come into play. But in general, trust your humans, talk to each other, and make sure you can deliver the best quality product possible. The last couple of things I want to mention are finances. So we talked briefly about pricing. Don't think about just the lowest versus the highest. Do your research. There are other agencies who are, very transparent about their pricing. So in general, like based on the agencies I've interacted with when it comes to short form content, they're typically charging anywhere between, I would say, $1,500 to $2,500 US. Again, I know that is a pretty big range still. And, based on the number of assets here, we're not talking about 3 to 5 short form content, but we're talking about 25 to 30, social media content that are cut, cleaned up, sometimes with some B-roll, with some music and other types of transitions. And some of these agencies will also offer creating social media copy, including hashtags. So you see where I'm going with here. In addition to leveraging Munch AI, there's so much of other offerings that you can include to make your agency, make your products way more favorable. Financial growth and financial health is very essential because without that, we don't have a business. We need a runway. We need to know how well we're doing and how fast we're burning. So without knowing how much money you can make, it's impossible to hire people. How much you can spend on a contractor, whether it's a social media manager or a video editor. So keep that in check. And I would say that, a lot of us can learn and pick up things as an entrepreneur, but not until you can actually experiment and explore. That is always the best training ground for you to learn, to make mistakes, to iterate, and to move on. Lastly, let's talk about legal and compliance considerations. And this question has come up a lot since the beginning of AI when ChatGPT was launched. I think it's really important and essential for a content repurposing agency such as yours to be very transparent about how you're producing the content. So number one, if there is such an AI tool leveraged and used to deliver client content, you want to make sure they're aware of that. It's not just we have 18 editors who are just working night and day to produce these content, that in fact you're leveraging AI tools. You can even be transparent about what they are. If clients ask me, I always tell them, as opposed to hiding the tools I'm using. Number two is the fact that you want to make sure that your clients actually have the right to send you and to process that information. So sure, if your client is the original creator of whatever webinar and podcast they're sending to you, good, you want to just verify that. Now, when they're sending their clients information or something right off the internet, whether it's YouTube or somewhere else, you need to have that conversation and make sure that they have rights, written consent, and proof that they have rights to access that information. I know there are a lot of videos here on YouTube, for example, where creators are making a lot of money by downloading somebody else's content, making them into shorts and publish on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and make a ton of money. That's actually not entirely legal, so you want to make sure as an agency that you have yourself covered based on this. And trust me, it's not a hard thing to do. Once we build that muscle, it is absolutely important to know where the content is coming from, how to initiate, how to conduct that conversation that's going to serve you in the long run. So I hope you find this video helpful. I really highly encourage you to check out Munch AI. Their pro product subscription starts at only $49. And I've included a link right here on the screen and also in the description. And think about what you can do with $49. And they have, upper more premier tiers as well. You can consider depending on the size of your agency. But AI tools are so accessible, and Munch is making it available not only to individuals, businesses, and creators, but for you to build an agency around video content repurposing. I think that's super exciting. If you like this video, I highly encourage you to check out this one as well. I'm going to see you right there.